So with Charhain being one of the upcoming characters in solo leveling Arise, we've just had a massive portion of her kit actually leaked, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. And all of these leaks do come from Alpha Leaker, so I'll leave their Twitter in the description down below, so you can drop them a follow to keep up with all of the leaks for solo leveling Arise. Okay, so here we are, we have Charhain, and to start things off with, as expected, Charhain is of the light element and of the fighter class, so pretty much just as we expected, as there's not really many fighter class characters coming, well, that's really just out in the game in general, as even with the brand new edition of Silvermane Baekhyunho, we only had 2 prior to his release, so yeah, it's probably a very good idea that we do get another one, especially because 2 of them are of the wind element as well, so this is always great. And just to know, all of her stats and like skill damage percentages will just be sort of placeholder stats and like percentages and stuff like that. But yeah, overall we have her right here. Model looks great. We got her sword, the Sword of Light, which is amazing. And if we take a look at it right here, these are obviously the stats of it right here. And then basically what this will do, it'll increase the user's basic skill damage by 5%, which is always really nice. And then whenever the user uses a basic skill, you'll increase your crit damage by 2% for 12 seconds, which can stack up to 6 times. So in total, you can use your basic skills 6 times, and then you can get up to a 12% increase in your crit damage, which once again, if you've watched my previous video about all the other information that we had about her and her kit or whatever, then you'd know that she is going to be a crit-based sort of DPS kind of character, which is really, really good. And then when this is completely maxed out, and as again, obviously the numbers and stuff might change and stuff like that, because when we did see Baekhyunho's kit, I think his kit did get nerfed quite a bit, but he's still an absolute beast, so it doesn't really matter. But either way, once you've got it at max dupes, you'll be able to increase your basic skill damage by 20%, and then be able to change the crit damage increase from, what, 2 to 8%, and which can then stack up to 6 times as well. So that'll be, what, like a 48 in total, I believe, 48% increase in crit damage, which is a huge amount. On top of that, with the toughness gear set as well, is going to be a joke, bro. The amount of crit damage you're going to have with her is going to be amazing. Alright, so then onto her skills. We got all of her skill icons right here, just nothing too special. It's just a PNG, so it's whatever. But right, we got a basic attack Swift Sword, just a classic 3-hit combo. Obviously, again, the damage ratios will be different, probably on release. So yeah, she just dashes towards them, just does some damage, amazing stuff, pretty just generic kind of stuff. And then we have Sword Dance, which is going to inflict airborne. Okay, interesting. And then let's see this, which is a load of slashes. Okay. Like, loving the animations. And then we have our very first skill, the Dancer, which says Charhain attacks by charging and quickly penetrating the target. Damage equal to 474% of the user's attack with a 12-second cooldown. This will probably be an 8-second cooldown, because I think all of the... I mean, it could be completely different. We have no idea. But I think most, if not all, every hunter's first basic skill has an 8-second cooldown. I could be tripping. I'm not too sure, but from my memory, that's what it is. Okay, never mind. Some characters' first basic skills are actually 12 seconds, but I think, although Park Byung-sik is an SR, so I think maybe for SSR characters... No, okay, never mind. I stand corrected, to be fair. Okay, there are some characters that do have a 12-second cooldown. So yeah, this could then actually be a 12-second cooldown. It probably will stay as that. And then 66 point of mana point consumption for you to use the skill, deals light elemental damage, and then when the user lands a critical hit, so they'll be landing a crit with this skill, you'll be able to apply the Waltz of the Sword effect, and then when this skill is used, it applies the Dancer effect as well. So she can then apply 2 buffs with her, which is really, really nice. And then I'll read into more what these effects do at the moment. But yeah, if we look back at the animation, just a nice stab straight through, pretty cool, looking good. And then we got the other one called Sword of Light, which is really, really nice. Damn, that is really cool. So then, yeah, I guess looking back onto the Waltz of the Sword effect, it basically says, so pretty much what is going to happen when you land a crit with this skill, you'll be able to apply Waltz of the Sword, which basically says the Dancer, which is the name of the skill, it basically says you can use it an infinite number of times whilst this effect is active. It doesn't say how long the buff is, so hopefully we'll know more about that when she fully releases, but yeah, really, really good. And then back onto Sword of Light, it says Charhain slashes the enemy continuously with a large Sword of Light, then finishes the combination with a powerful strike, which has a huge damage ratio. Obviously, it's at level 10, so it makes sense. And then also with a 12-second cooldown, and this time with a 264 mana point consumption, and then deals light elemental damage, knocks down the target when the last attack in the combo hits. Amazing stuff. And then damage to branded targets increases by 15%, so I imagine that'll be a debuff that she's going to apply throughout her whole kit, which is going to be nice. And then applies the unrecoverable effect to the targets when the last attack in the combo hits. And then we'll be able to see more of what brand and unrecoverable are here as well, but we also have her support skill, which will be the skill that she uses with Jinwoo, which will be Light Strike, which will be able to see animation right here. Pretty much just her second basic skill, pretty much. Lovely stuff. And essentially this will do 1300% of her attack is damage, 25-second cooldown, and when it will inflict knockdown, and then when this skill hits, it applies the unrecoverable and brand effects. And we can see what these debuffs are right now, so this will also apply to the second basic skill that we did see earlier, as unrecoverable will basically make the target unable to recover HP. So I believe that, yeah, that will apply it to the enemy, not yourself, which is really good. And this debuff will actually be really good for enemies that have sort of the lifesteal effect, like the burning mid demon and just all those kinds of enemies, as these enemies, whenever they land an attack, they'll recover HP. So this debuff, when you're fighting off against bosses like those, is going to be really good against those kinds of enemies. So looking really good so far. And then not only that, you'll also apply brand, which will increase your crit rate and crit damage by 12% to targets hit by this skill. What the hell, bro? That is crazy. That is insane. For Jinwoo, this is going to be so good, especially if you got a crit set on him with the plum flower sword and the scythe put together, those crit-based weapons. Wow. She's going to be crazy good with Jinwoo. Jesus. Can't lie, yeah, she probably will be top tier, assuming the numbers and stuff stay relatively similar, but they can obviously change, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it looks really, really good, and we have Rampant of Light, which is her QTE skill, which looks really good, by the way. Whoa! That looks so good. Yo! Okay. Basically, with this, Cha-Hae-In approaches the enemy quickly and launches them into the air. Afterwards, she attacks the enemy with a large slash with her Sword of Light. It will do around 1700% of her attack is damage on a 20-second cooldown. And then the conditions are Extreme Evasion, Core Attack, and Ultimate skill, so pretty much the same as everyone else's. And then deals light elemental damage, and then when the skill hits, it will inflict Airborne, which is nice. And then when the skill hits, it will apply the brand effect as well. So this is going to be how she applies that brand debuff. Alright, Light of the End is her ultimate. Let's have a look at this. Oh my, yeah, pretty cool. And pretty much Cha-Hae-In takes a mighty swing at the enemy with a sword imbued with the power of light, and it's up to around just close to 4,000% of her attack as damage. 45-second cooldown, 100% of her power gauge consumption, as you'd expect. And then it'll deal light elemental damage, and then it'll inflict airborne, I feel like that's pretty much with all of her skills, it's inflicted airborne. And then when attacking a branded target, the damage is increased by 30%. Nice, okay, very good. So another 30%, well, not another 30%, I can't remember what, yeah, this was 15% damage increase. So yeah, pretty sizable damage increase, and once again, yeah, the ultimate animation, yo, very nice. Alright, then finally we have her passive and all of her dupes as well, and just looking at her passive already, it looks crazy good, as basically whenever the dancer hits, which is, if we go back, was her first basic skill, basically. So yeah, basically whenever that skill hits, you'll have a 66% chance to brand the target, which is a really high chance. I would assume this would get lowered, because if you can use her basic skill like an infinite amount of times, you don't really need to proc it that often, so yeah, that is ridiculous. And then obviously, as before, it will just make, it will increase the likelihood that they take critical hits, as well as the more damage they take from critical hits as well by 12% for 15 seconds. So a really good passive, to be honest. And then her dupes is increases the max number of the dancer effect instances that can stack at once to 5 instances. Yeah, we didn't see exactly what that did, so we'll have to wait till she comes out to see exactly what that is, but that can be stacked up to 5 times. Her second dupe just gives her 10% crit rate, which is ridiculous. And then her third dupe, which says when attacking a branded target, increases the skill damage of the dancer and Sword of Light by 40%. Jeez, that is so much damage. That is crazy. Alright, so it's quite hard to see what her fourth and fifth dupe do, but I can just read it out for you because her animation is kind of just making it hard to see. But basically with her fourth dupe, you just get 12% extra crit damage. And then her final dupe, I can read a bit easier here, which basically says depending on the number of stacks effects of the dancer, which is the buff that she gains from her first skill, I believe, then you can increase the damage of the Light of the End by 15%, which can stack up to 5 times as well, which is a huge increase, with Light of the End being her actual ultimate skill as well. So wow, lots of crazy stuff. So yeah, overall Cha-Hae-In's kit, it seems ridiculous. Her weapon seems really good. She spams her basic skill, and it's just a crit machine, which is amazing. She's a fighter, which is great, so we don't really have too many of those, so I'm really looking forward to pulling for her. I think she's going to be the character that releases on the global launch, because, I mean, that would make sense, because she is one of the most popular characters in the series. But yeah, overall, if you did enjoy this video, or you found it useful or helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'll see you in the next video. Peace!